people don't consider what their end goal is. And then behind that, they don't kind of consider like, how do I create the infrastructure to support that outcome? A lot of times we might only fixate on the dream we have, which if you're just focused on dreams, then okay, how are you actually going to materialize those things, right? We're supposed to dream big, but don't forget to consider the infrastructure that will support that dream.
What up? It's your boy Dave B. You watch your Dave B on TV, where we go beyond the everyday bullshit that people be consuming on a day-to-day basis. Just want to say thank y'all to everybody who's been supporting the channel. You know, it's been a crazy year for everybody. A lot of changes, a lot of transformations, but for the most part, you know, I got a whole lot of really cool things for y'all on the way. Last week I was supposed to drop an episode for this new series I got going on. So being that it didn't come out as fast as I would like it to, this week I'm gonna make sure I give y'all 2 episodes. This series is really for my dreamers, my visionaries, my builders, my innovators. This is for all the people building something bigger than themselves. So if you fall in that category, I really do think you'll enjoy this upcoming series. So I'm not gonna keep you guys too long. Let's get back to the Mindful Mondays, and please remember that this is about going beyond just a mindset. This is for us to take real action in real time. Let's get back into the video.
This week's vibration is all about infrastructure, right? Because a lot of times as creators, especially when you are starting out, you don't really have a team. You don't know really what you're doing yet. I mean, you have a vision, you have a goal, hopefully. If not, you are coming up with it as you go. But for the most part, it's like a big challenge sometimes trying to figure out, first of all, where's the first step, right? Now, a lot of times, always pretty much, I'm always saying, hey, it's better to just start out than to try to think so hard about the little pieces that honestly on the surface don't really matter. You know, these things matter, but it's kind of superficial in a sense. These are the things that keep you from just hitting the play button, just hitting the record button. Honestly, it's about just getting, like, the best thing you could do is go out there and try it first and get your feet wet, and then pick it up as you go. You know, you take one step, God takes another. But a lot of times, you know, what people don't consider, I notice, and this is especially true for me, is that people don't really, 2 things. People don't realize, okay, what do they want the bigger picture to be? Like, what do they actually, like, what's their vision? People don't consider what their end goal is. And then behind that, they don't kind of consider, like, how do I create the infrastructure to support that outcome? A lot of times we might only fixate on the dream we have, which if you're just focused on dreams, then okay, how are you actually going to materialize those things, right? We're supposed to dream big, but don't forget to consider the infrastructure that will support that dream. If you're dreaming big, you also have to work hard. You have to put in that same equivalent as far as effort into making that dream real. And where you need to pretty much focus your effort is in, first, on the foundational level, creating that infrastructure, right? You want to think longevity. You want to think, okay, yeah, today I might not be where I'm going, but I'm visualizing the place I want to be. To be there, I have to embody that, right? Be it to see it. In the process of embodying, how can I create structures to make that embodiment easier? So this will look like things in the form of routines and patterns, like how you want to create your day-to-day routine. Also processes when you're in your bag, depending on what it is you do, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, this is like how you want to run your business operations, right? If you're a content creator, this is how you want to produce your content. If you're an artist, what's your creative process like? All these things need to be considered. And one thing I did that tremendously helped me was is really honestly just document every step of the way, right? One by one, considering, okay, like, it's really a mindful practice of just being present with yourself in the process of doing what it is you want to do. So when I'm making a song, I'm considering, okay, how long does it take to finish this part? Okay, what's next? Step by step, right? Same thing with making a video. Okay, how do I want to do this? Do I want a script or do I want to freestyle? And then what are the things I need to set that up? And the reason you want to do this is because at first it's helpful for you to create that discipline, right? It makes it easier to be consistent as far as the flow of whether it's the flow of information, how you kind of put everything together. If you have a system for it, there's really not much you have to think outside of just getting up and doing it, right? Also, it makes whatever you do scalable. So at some point in time, you kind of want to be in a position to put other people in charge of the processes that don't matter as much, right? Especially if you're an entrepreneur. What's the point of having a business if you can't get to a point where you have employees that can help out with the flow or the operation of that business, right? I mean, otherwise, you're really just doing a self-employment project, right? Everybody is proud of being a one-man band, but I'm gonna tell you like this, honestly. You can't really do much. There's only so much you can do by yourself alone. I've learned the value of having a team, having a support system even, that can help you get to where you're going. How they say in that one quote, that's like, if you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go with a team. And so, to me, it just makes no sense to try to overly depend on being a one-man band. Honestly, I love having support, and I love having a team and working with other people, because they're able to provide other aspects to what you're doing that honestly can skyrocket whatever thing you think you got going on by yourself. How can you create a system that supports your greater vision? That's just something you should be mindful of, is how do you want the infrastructure of your life to go, right? So that's what we being mindful of this week. Living your life is the longest thing you'll ever do. So you should consider how you want to live, right? And that should be a part of that bigger vision that you have of your life or your goals. Your goals are I always felt like my goals, whether it be business or even creative goals or personal goals, are in tandem with, what that was, are in tandem with my life. I always like to envision myself, like when I'm thinking of what I want to do creatively or business wise, I always consider that being a part of how I want to live my life. Like any dream or goal I have or my purpose is also tied into the lifestyle that I want, right? I feel like some people only focus on the dream but don't kind of consider how that dream will affect their lifestyle or vice versa. You should consider the whole picture of how do you want to actually be living, and how does your purpose tied in? Okay, if your purpose is tied into that, how are you going to make money to support your living situation in that manner, right? And all of these things are very frustrating, can be frustrating, can be discouraging, but it's worth the mental effort to consider these things before you start moving forward, or as you're moving forward, right? I really kind of think more so as you're moving forward, because if you try to figure all this out before you get going, then you won't, have enough data as far as trial and error to be able to consider that, oh yeah, you know what, I really don't want to do this for the rest of my life. Because there's probably a lot of people who think they want to be content creators, but then when they start putting videos out or get their YouTube channel up, after the first couple weeks, they're like, you know what, this shit sucks and I don't want to do this. And you need to be real with yourself on that accord. If this is not what you want to do, then by all means, please put it away. Please give yourself time to do other things. Like I said before, living your life is the longest thing you'll ever do. So you might as well make it enjoyable. You might as well make it something that you want to keep doing. You might as well put things in your life, create systems to make your life easier. And this is really what this message is all about. So, consider what the bigger vision is, and then let's take the time this week to consider to construct, or at least create the starting point for the infrastructure to support that dream, that purpose, that goal, that mission that you have for the rest of your life. Sometimes people are in survival mode. Sometimes people are just naive to it. Like me, I was naive to what my vision actually entailed on a physical level, as far as the effort and work I had to put in to get that thing to come to fruition. The better you can create structure in your life, the greater opportunities for having peace you'll have. The more you create structure in your life, the more you'll have peace in your life. That's just a rule of thumb you should keep with you, right? A lot of times we feel like, oh, it's too much work to try to figure out the whole process. But I'm gonna tell you like this: as soon as I figured out my process and I put it on paper and I made it a step-by-step thing that I just consistently did every time. And see, one of the important things to do also after you create your system is to constantly reiterate it, right? Because you're going to go through changes. You're going to find out through trial and error what works and what doesn't work. And the faster you can implement those changes, they call this a feedback loop, right? What you want is a fast feedback loop so that you can make iterations that will improve the process overall. The faster you do this, the quicker you get to a smooth process that you can then either automate or you could give to someone else as a role or a position in your company or in your, even if you're running a small business or if you're an independent creator and you just want to hire another person, you might not like a certain process, a part of the process. And this is another thing too. You'll start to realize, like, okay, let's say you don't like the editing part of the process or any part of the process. If you have a clear system, it's that much easier for you to assign that to somebody else who could do it, right? So all you got to do is spend some bread. And this is actually how you run a business. And even if you're an independent artist, this is how you can spend more time, focus on the things that you actually want to do versus having to waste time doing the parts of the process that you don't really like, that you don't really enjoy, that slow you down, right? They call these like bottlenecks. So these are just different ways that you can go ahead and put yourself in a position to get more things done and be less burnt out. Because honestly, burnout just comes from us doing things that we truly don't have our heart in. And even though you are just starting out, so you're in a position where you got to play every role, that's just not a way to do things. There's a reason why having a team is so valuable and so important, and why I advocate for it, right? I'm the one-man band shit. I understand you got to do what you got to do, but that shouldn't be where you want to stay unless your business or what you do supports that. But if you're in a position to hire somebody or have somebody else to be on your team, then a lot of times that, y'all can share the weight and then do what y'all need to do. Also, if you're an entrepreneur, this is especially important because, how they say time is money, right? Time and money are things you want to leverage, right? What you start to realize is that your time is way more valuable than the money you'll spend on the help to get things done faster. And when you create these infrastructure and these systems to support that dream, not only is your success inevitable, even if you're going through ups and downs, failures, that's just a part of the game. That's just a part of the gig. But what I started to realize is it helped me stay more consistent on what I'm trying to do, right? So there's that reassurance you get from knowing that, hey, my success is inevitable. I've created the systems already. Everything I do on my day-to-day basis supports my bigger vision and goal, right? That's already a given. The next step is just putting in the effort. And then that gives me even more space to be creative and find innovative ways to get my job done. To do my thing on a larger scale. That's the Mindful Mondays for today. And this week, the theme of this week, like I said before, internal infrastructure, right? And I've been talking a lot about the physical external aspect, but I also want you to consider the internal process of this, your emotional state, your thought process, and the different things that you're dealing with internally. You also have to take care of yourself, right? So this piggybacks off of last week's message of self-repair, repairing that emotion, repairing that relationship with yourself should have brought you to a kind of broader, more clear conclusion on where you want to go, right? You and your your emotions and thoughts being on the same page. And so now in this week, we can transform that. We can take that a step further and say, okay, now that we are all on the same page, as far as you as an individual, your thoughts and feelings, where you want to go, your bigger vision. Now let's consider how we can start to create infrastructure to support that bigger vision, right? So that's how it all plays out. Hopefully all of this was helpful. Much love, and I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great week. Peace.